Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Desert Jewels. Today we're going to be discussing homeowners insurance and the difference between an insurance agent and an insurance broker. So today I want to introduce you all to Miss Victoria Hahn, who is with BundleB Insurance Agency. Hello, Victoria.
Hey, Jolie. Congrats on the podcast.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm learning to run with the big people. So I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule from TikTok. If y'all not following Victoria, make sure you catch her on TikTok and LinkedIn. But thank you for coming on and sitting down and having this conversation with us because this is some information. If I had gotten it with my first home, I think we would have saved a bunch of money by getting what we needed versus what they were selling to us. A lot of people don't know that, yes, it's a business, and some insurance companies will sell you something versus, getting you what you need. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you real quick and then I'll jump in and ask you some questions. So, Victoria, tell us who you are and tell us about the BundleB Insurance Agency.
Yes, my name is Victoria Hahn. I am the marketing director for BundleB Insurance. We are an insurance broker here in Texas. We serve all of Texas and we serve all of New Mexico. We have over 80 options as far as home insurance and auto insurance options. So it's great for anyone that's looking for insurance quotes. We make everyone's life easier. We're the new way of doing insurance, especially right now with COVID. It's a lot easier to call us than having to go to each Allstate, State Farm, Farmer's office. You can just call us and we do all the work for you.
And so that's where we can start, like right there. So, explain to us the difference between when you all were once just an insurance agency versus being an insurance brokerage.
Yeah, that's a great question. We had the largest farmers agency for over 35 years. What we started noticing was the farmers rates were going up and there wasn't anything we could do about that rate. And we didn't like that. You have to cut coverages or add discounts. And it was just really not Farmers is a great company in itself, but for the majority of people out there, we need options. Just like you go online and right now it's Cyber Monday, you can go and shop around. Why can't you do the same with insurance? So we, after being with families for 3 generations, they were leaving us, not because they didn't like us, it's because the rates were going up so high. So what we did is we decided to do the brokerage, and the beauty part about having the brokerage is that we are serving more of the client. So when a client calls in, we get their resume together, get all their information, and then shoot it out to all the different carriers. Then we get you the top 2 or 3 rates based on coverages and options and pricing, and then we give it to the client. And then the beauty part about that too is, let's say next year their rate goes up, we can always reshop it so they're not stuck to one carrier, which makes it fantastic.
Okay, you said something that I want to highlight. You said you get the client's resume together. Explain the resume that you put together for us when you're shopping our insurance for us.
Yeah, it's just all your information, like if you're college education. What people don't know too is insurance is a lot based on credit. So credit has a lot to do with your pricing. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that most insurance companies they have a certain algorithm. They want somebody that doesn't have claims, that has excellent credit, that, is not a risk for them, and they'll give you a good rate. But the minute you have any type of claim, teenage drivers, anything like that, your rate goes up substantially. So what we do is we're able to shop all options so we can let the consumer know, hey, this is the best option, and let them also be aware that a lot has to do with credit. And, instead of having to pay a high rate, we can give you the best option. So I tell a lot of people we are the lowest option as far as insurance, but we don't just sell on that. We sell based on what the coverages are, and it makes it nice that we can still give people excellent amount of coverage, but they're not having to stick with one carrier, and we can always shop it. So the customer is happy because they're like, okay, well, Victoria is, has my back to where, if my rate goes up, I'm not stuck to go with Progressive, or I'm not stuck going with ASI. I have my options. And as long as I stay with BundleB, it doesn't matter what insurance company I go with.
Okay. We're getting ready to get into some meat and potato questions about this
Let's do
homeowners
it. Let's do
insurance.
it.
Okay. Tell me why I need homeowners insurance. A lot of people don't understand why we even have it.
Well, I mean, the basic part of it is that you need it if your house were to burn down. You want to be able to rebuild it and get it all together. Also, too, what I tell a lot of people is that people don't like insurance until they need it. And then when that something happens, like, I mean, right now Christmas is coming, so we've had trees that have burnt down. We had a couple years back, a tree had caught on fire and a family was in town, so all their passports burned down, the house burned down, everything. And so because they had us as an insurance agent, the insurance company gave them a hotel, paid for all the living expenses while that was going on till that family got their passports in. So it's very, very crucial that you have insurance. Even if your house is paid off, you need it for anything that happens, like water damage. Water damage is the number one thing that we have, especially if you have a 2-story house. All of us with a 2-story house know if something happens on the top floor, it's going to happen on the bottom floor. So I stress to anyone that they have to have insurance. It's not even like an option.
Okay, so you're strongly recommending it. So I want to make sure I got this right. It's not required by law that I have it, but mortgage companies require that I have it. And you just explained it. It's really to protect our interests and not to have to come out of our pocket with these large sums of money. Because I've seen, like you said, my brother's hot water heater on the second floor blew up. And because it blew up, it blew out the ceiling on the first floor, and they had flooring damage. They had the kitchen had to be redone all the way. And you say to yourself, oh, all this money I'm putting into insurance, I'll never use it. That's the best investment that you never get to use if you have that situation. But I haven't had an opportunity to say I haven't used my insurance, especially with our weather, the way it is, with the damages that are happening. And I wanted to ask you about something. I know once before you all were able to do those reports, those loss reports, when we were in the process of buying a home. Is that still available? And if it's not, are you able to tell us why it's not available?
We don't do well. When we were with farmers, we had to make sure we did the pre-underwriting with the claims prior before doing a quote, because they were so picky as far as like what they wanted. But with BundleB, we actually don't do the clue reports. We do it after like we've ran the quotes and stuff, but that means we'd have to have all their information. So we do it, but that's not till later on, till we get all the clients' information and stuff.
Okay, so it's still available for us. It was just that particular company, they wanted you all to do it like all the way in the front. But this way, one, I understand why you would do it after we are in a relationship and we understand that we're
Yeah,
going to go together. Because I mean, why am I going to buy you a diamond ring and you're not going to stay with me? So there's that.
exactly,
It's an
exactly.
investment. So now, when I was looking at your information and you were talking about being able to shop around, and you said you all had 80 options. So when you put the resume together, you said you all send it out all at once. So you're stopping me from having to do a new credit check, or does each company do their own credit check? Um,
Each company, insurance, and that's a good question. Insurance has a soft credit score. So none of it goes on your record. It's not like when you pull up credit through a finance company, or it has nothing to do with that. We don't even know what your credit score is. You could just tell by someone's rates when they come back where they're at as far as like pricing. But what we do is when someone goes in, we put in all their information, and then we throw it to the over 80 companies, and then it kind of does like an Excel of all the rates. And then from there, we'll look at like the top 5 and see what the options are from there. Because each carrier is completely different. Like one might want military, one might want a certain zip code, or, it just depends. Each one has their own appetite. So that's a great part about having more than one option that you could fit. You can, instead of fitting a square peg in a round hole, you can actually fit the right option for them.
So that was the other thing. The zip code. Are you able to kind of shine some light on the impact of a zip code? Because I know when we were living in Horizon City and we had
Yeah.
insurance, because of how close it is to the border, they were like, we understand that you're physically there, but they use certain parameters to decide that this zip code falls into this category. So can you explain that some more for us?
Yeah. What insurance companies do is it's called protection class. So El Paso's protection class is actually 1. So we pay the lowest rates in all of Texas than Dallas, San Antonio, any of them. So what I tell a lot of people is that in El Paso, we're really spoiled with our home insurance rates. But like Horizon, for example, their protection class is higher because of the fire department. They have a volunteer fire department. So that's how the insurance company base their rates, is how long it takes for the fire department to get out to the house in case it goes on fire. So that's mainly where they come up with the pricing on that. Or if they have like a lot of wind and hail, like Dallas, they have hail like golf balls. So they've had a lot of, and Houston has a lot of floods. So it all just depends on the area that you're at, and that's how they come up with the pricing.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you this. How do you all um, decide the replacement cost versus the actual value of the home, or how does that work?
Well, that's also another good question. We actually don't even look at the value of the home. We look at how much it takes to rebuild that house, because what a lot of people don't realize, and I'm just, me, I'm just really blunt. If your insurance agent does not know what co-insurance is, then you need to get a new insurance agent, because that's in every home insurance contract. And a lot of the times, these insurance agents are selling policies that they don't even know, because I get a lot of people that are like, well, I had Geico and it sucked, or I had Progressive and it sucked, and I had this. And I'm like, no, like you go to McDonald's and you can order the same option with any McDonald's. That's not the thing. If you have somebody that doesn't know what they're doing and they don't put the right deductibles, the right coverages, then that's when it becomes a problem. It's not necessarily the insurance company itself. So what I tell a lot of people is, don't even look at, if you have an insurance agent that's saying, hey, what's your value of your home? Then you need to get another insurance agent, because insurance is based on how much it takes to rebuild a home. On any home insurance contract, if you do not have a certain amount of coverage, not only will the insurance company not pay whatever your loss is, they're going to subtract it. Let's say you're supposed to have $100,000 worth of coverage for the reconstruction cost, and you only have $50,000. Well, the insurance company, and you have a loss of $10,000. The insurance company is going to say, well, you didn't carry the $100,000 that we told you, so we're only going to give you half of what you had. So you're only going to get $5,000 on that loss minus the deductible. Let's say you have a deductible that's pretty high, then you're out of it. And that's not the insurance company's fault. That's your agent that didn't explain it. And that's what I stress with all the clients that we have. I have some clients that think they know everything about insurance. And I tell them, you
We
know
have
what?
Google.
Yeah, I'm like, just like, you need a good lender, you need a good realtor, you need you need a good attorney, you need a good insurance agent that's going to tell you, hey, chill out. You don't know, the options. I mean, I can list a bunch of things that have happened with different people, but whenever I have somebody that's like, no, I don't want these coverages, or I don't want that, we don't give people that option. I'm there to protect them. They can go down the street to another insurance company that's going to give them the basic coverage, but we won't even want to touch that, because it's not worth me putting our office at risk for just having a basic amount of coverage.
And speaking of the basic coverage, can you talk to us about covering our personal belongings in the property. For instance, I just found out that I needed to put my wedding ring on the insurance. I didn't know
Yeah.
it needed to be on the homeowner's insurance.
Yeah. Your personal property is covered up to a certain amount. What I tell anyone that when they're moving in their house, to take pictures of everything and to also know the contracts that you're getting. If you're getting actual cash value, they're going to subtract. It's like a car. They're going to subtract the depreciation. But if you get replacement costs, they're going to replace how you bought it today. So that's another thing. And then when you move in, take pictures of everything. That way, if it were to burn down, heaven forbid, but you've got all that option to that you know exactly what you had. And then as far as jewelry, you definitely need to add jewelry on a separate policy if you have anything expensive like guns, art, anything that's very specific. You definitely need to have another policy for that.
What is, in regular people words, umbrella, the umbrella policy? What is that?
Okay, that's a great question. And in regular people words. So what I tell everyone should have an umbrella policy, to be quite honest. What a lot of people don't realize is when they have full coverage or liability, they have 30, when you look at your policy, it says 30, 25, 60. And that's the lowest. You should not even carry that because it doesn't cover you. It's 30,000 for one person's injury, 60,000 for more than one person's injury, and 25,000 for any of the damages done by the vehicle. Well, most vehicles are worth more than 25,000. So I tell people you need to have a lot more. And then the liability too, if you have more than one person in the car. I know health insurance, like the health bills, that's not going to cover it. So what I recommend is 250,000 for one person's injury, 500,000 for more than one person's injury, and 250 to 500 for any property damage. Because in case you hit more than one vehicle or anything like that, it doesn't have to be that you hit this high quality vehicle, but if you get in a car pileup that you caused, you want to make sure you have coverage. So then on top of that, there's a thing called an umbrella policy that you can cover it for up to $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. It just depends on how much you want to cover it. But what it does is it's like an umbrella. It covers your home. For an additional liability, it covers your auto. What a lot of people don't realize is auto insurance is the biggest risk because you're driving back and forth and you could hit somebody and permanently hurt somebody. And what people don't realize is that's your biggest liability. So you definitely want to protect that. The other thing too is if you have teenage drivers, I would highly recommend to get a umbrella policy because they have 100% guaranteed accident rate. Whether it's a big accident or a little accident, I don't know because I'm not your kid, but if you have $1 million liability, let's say they hit somebody and someone tries to sue you and you're on that vehicle, well, at least you have $1 million to cover you for any of the liability that comes in place.
And I remember your mom explained that to us. She said, "Look, if you're getting a pool, no, sweetie, you need this because there's that one person, no matter how much you say, don't let your children go outside unattended or what have you. That one accident, like you said, we don't know what the injury is going to be if they slip and fall in the pool or slip around on the pool deck. Because we can say don't run all day, but children are going to run. So we're going to go to your 5 ways to lower your insurance costs. Let's roll with it, Victoria.
Let's do it. One of the things is that to get, like I said, an insurance broker, us would be the best one because we're all licensed and we've all been doing it for a while. But to look at all your options as insurance, what I've noticed, especially with home insurance, is that people are just so used to their mortgage being paid that they don't shop around for insurance. And especially with taxes going up and property taxes, always look at your home insurance and take a look at what your options are. Your second thing is the deductible. A lot of people don't realize that I had somebody that had a $15,000 deductible and they didn't know it and with us, it was $1,000. So look at your deductibles, look at your coverages, also where you're at, and definitely just be more aware of shopping around. My other thing that I tell a lot of people is when you're buying a house, they're thrown so many things when they're buying a new home. So if you bought a house last year and your you're like, well, I don't know my deductible. I don't know this stuff. Well, we're in COVID. You're home. Take a look at your stuff and give us a call. I mean, we can even like look at the options and tell you. I can tell you off the bat in 5 minutes if I see a policy what they need to improve. I will say that all the policies that are not in this office, 95% of them that we've gotten, not only have they been underinsured, the deductibles have been crappy, the coverages have been crappy, and our pricing is still lower than what they were paying.
And you're not even in khaki pants. So,
I'm not Jake from State Farm.
so number 3, you said maintain good credit. One more time. You hit on it earlier, but I want you to really tag it this time about the importance of us having good credit, not just to secure the home, but if we decide later on that we want to get a different insurance policy, and you have to run our credit for the way you do it.
Yeah. Good credit is the way to go. You always have to keep track of that. What people don't realize is, I mean, down to your electric bill, your gas bill, your cable bill, everyone, even though they're not saying it, they all run the same algorithm as far as credit. So I stress to always make sure that you maintain that credit, and to also get like a good identity fraud coverage as well, just to make sure that you don't have any issues with that. A lot of people don't know that you can add that on your insurance too. So that's another coverage that is added on. What I tell a lot of people too is that they don't understand like full coverage or liability. Well, technically full coverage is just liability and comp and collision, which covers your car if it's stolen or if it's completely total. It doesn't include uninsured motorists. It doesn't include medical payments. It doesn't include roadside assistance. It doesn't include glass coverage, and it doesn't include towing and rental. So take a look at it, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm fully covered. It doesn't mean anything. So definitely take a look at those options, and maintain good credit, because it has a lot to do with your auto insurance rates too. And if they're telling you that it doesn't, it does. They're lying.
Number 4, you said bundle the policies, and I know if they've been paying attention at all, you cannot get away from not talking about home and auto, because they go together. But bundle the policies. Explain that to us.
You get a huge discounts when you put the auto and home together. So if people are not putting them all in one place, then they're really losing a huge discount. It's like almost a 20% discount for having, and it's for each, the home and auto. So you're saving quite a lot. And that's what I tell people, to definitely look at putting them all in one place, because you want to get the best benefit. Now, sometimes it doesn't work if you have, like, let's say you have a policy, a home policy, and then you've got like 2 teenage drivers with a lot of activity. Then we put them with a different auto insurance. But again, that's why you have us, because we can give you those options. But you definitely, if you don't have it bundled and you haven't looked at it, to bind the auto and home together.
And then number 5, you said ask about the discounts. Can you give us an idea of what we need to be coming in expecting from you as a discount? Me being a military spouse, like you said, I got 22-year-old twins, I got an 18-year-old. So, I know you're going to shop around, but talk about the discounts for us.
The discount, the big one's a bundling. Have them bundled. Alarm. If you need flood insurance, you have to have an elevation certificate. That gives you a big discount. Your age, your occupation, your education. Those are all things that give you a discount as far as shopping your rates. So definitely take a look at that. Your home, if you've had a new roof, that's a huge discount with any carrier. Just any kind of maintenance or anything that you do to the house that it shows the insurance company that you're not that much of a high risk, that you just haven't let it go, then you do get a big discount. So any of the maintenance that you've done, like our big home improvements, you definitely want to let your insurance carrier know that.
Okay, and let me ask you this. Are you able to assist, because I try not to leave them out, but are you able to assist renters with finding renters insurance?
Yeah, we are able to do that as well. We're able to do it all.
Okay, so renters, you are not left out of this equation. If you're renting a home right now and you want to get in contact with Victoria, we're going to put her information up for you to be able to talk to her. The Bumblebee herself is ready to get busy for you and help you save on your insurance. She's like she said, we're in COVID. You really don't want to be moving around that much, so we can do it by phone, online, and get you into an insurance policy that will work for you both for your home and your auto so you can take advantage of the bundling. And I'm looking at her information and she says she has over 80 insurance options. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to make 80 plus phone calls trying to get the best option. So Victoria, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for taking time out of your schedule and hanging out with us. I'm going to give you a quick second. If you got one little tidbit that you want to drop on us real quick so they'll know, you know what, I need to call that lady.
Well, okay. Well, for renters, I'm not going to leave anyone excluded. Renters, if you don't have renters insurance, if something happens in that house or apartment, um, the person you're renting from is not responsible for your clothing, any of your stuff inside the home. So get renters insurance. It's pretty cheap. It's like $20 a month. As far as for home and auto, shop around. Take a look at your home insurance. You don't want to wait till something happens and then you're like, oh, my deductible is $10,000, or I didn't know I didn't have water coverage, or I didn't know this. Take a look at your coverages, take a look at your options. If your mortgage is going up every month, guess what? It's probably because of your home insurance. Right now is the time to just give us a call. We shop the options for you and we save you a lot of time from having to call each carrier. And I'm not saying State Farm and Farmers and all of them are not great. We used to be with Farmers, but they're not going to be able to give you the options that we will be able to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank you again and thank you all for watching Desert Jewels. Be sure to share this information and make sure you subscribe and like. And Victoria, she's here to serve. I'm your realtor here in El Paso, Texas, Julie Levin Scott. And thank you for watching Desert Jewels.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.